Okay, so hello everyone. So this is a tiny video on my Graphite RX78, primarily because a lot of people on Twitter are asking me how to get this look. So, for the people that don't know or want to go through this procedure, this is an entry grade RX78, and this has had Rust-Oleum Painter's Touch, Gloss Black, and Satin Black covering different parts of it. The really high reflective parts are going to be gloss black, and the ones that look more like brushed steel, they're going to be satin. Now, it's hard to really tell on camera, and obviously the colour of it is going to be a little bit diminished on camera. I find that the black itself makes everything look a little bit like steel in low lighting conditions, but if you have it out in natural sunlight, it's going to look really fantastic. You may also be able to see my reflection in some of the surfaces here because of me polishing it. But I feel like to get a brighter effect like this, you might want to put like gloss white down or something. I might try that in future on another model kit or on another entry grade RX78 because they're so easy to pick up and they're cheap. But the whole point of this was to try and get a very, very good metallic finish for cheap, because when I've seen other videos going over metallic finishes and stuff, they always use either pearlescent paint or other tricks very similar to try and achieve it, but they never really get better than, say, some metallic spray tin paint that you would find at like your local car dealership or whatever, or in the car paint section of somewhere, say like Halfords or whatever in the UK, that do a lot of car parts and other things like that. And for years I've been trying to get this finish to look a little bit more metallic, a little bit more chrome. And what I ended up doing was watching a load of prop videos, and I came across using graphite powder. So what we do is we take the entire thing, we sand it down, so we get all the nubs off it, we cut the nubs off and file them down, and then we cover it in primarily gloss. If you use matte on this, you do not get the same effect. So you want to use a gloss undercoat for it, and then you put graphite on top of that after it's dry and just start polishing it away at it. Now, I did it with hundreds, over exaggerate a little bit here, but a lot of these Q-tips or cotton buds, cotton swabs, whatever you want to call them. But I used a lot of these and just went in, applied the graphite, and then just started polishing. And what I got was this highly polished and highly reflective finish. And then after that, I took a photo, I uploaded it to Twitter, and I then experimented with a clear top coat of varnish, which kind of diminished the effect. And as that was drying, I then applied another top coat of graphite to this, and now we have this finished version of the kit, because before I was getting graphite all over my hands. I find that by polishing it beforehand as much as I could and then hitting it with the top coat, even though it diminished the finish a little bit, it's still highly reflective and is practically close to what I wanted. And then hitting it again with the extra graphite and polishing until I couldn't get any more off it has kind of given me the same effect, a slightly duller effect, but it's worked. Like I said, the only way you could probably get better than this is by, one, not using the top coat, and two, doing it on, say, a brighter gloss colour, so say like white or whatever. I don't know whether that would work properly, but that's what I'm imagining at the moment. Also, to take note of this, one of the reasons I used the entry grade is because it was so cheap, but I found that there were a lot of reviews saying that the waist joint is pretty brittle, and it didn't help that I put a very generous amount of paint on this when I was spraying, so it ended up feeling pretty brittle, so it's pretty much staying in this position at the moment. The only things that I didn't really paint were the joints themselves, like the elbow joints and things, because I thought that I could get away with that and possibly give the kit a little bit less of a fragile feel. What I ended up doing then was just going over the top of them anyway with graphite later on, and it seems to have camouflaged them just that little bit extra. But everything is covered, and we get this highly reflective surface. The only thing that I haven't done in graphite is the eyes, which I've kept like a gold colour that I sprayed, but I'm going to rotate this just a little bit now so you can see this. On certain surfaces it's definitely reflecting the light a little bit better. Depending on what your paint actually does underneath as well, when it's drying will give you a different effect. So when I liberally put this on, what happened was a lot of it was very thick coats, and some of it I didn't let dry properly, so I ended up with paint dripping. But I managed to get away with it in most areas. In areas where I was only applying graphite beforehand, it kind of looked like a different sort of metal, so I was getting like steel effects or brushed steel. By going over it a little bit more with the graphite, it's kind of taken that away, especially with the top coat, and just made it look very shiny. But overall, I'm really happy with this. The top coat has at least sealed it in, and because of me polishing it for so long to get it almost like a mirror surface, so every single piece I could see my face through, or I could see my reflection in when I'd finished. I feel like that helped when putting on the top coat, because it meant that it wasn't going to dull it loads. Obviously, if you were to apply a matte top coat over this, it would completely ruin the effect. But yeah, for anyone that wanted a metal looking kit just for the sake of having one, you know, because you see a lot of them online and they're really expensive, or they're put out by Bandai and they're only, say, like P Bandai or whatever, they're hard to get hold of. If you wanted something that looked like this and you wanted to do it easy, it's as simple as get a couple of cheap spray cans, or if you want to do it a little bit more professionally and get a better coat, use a air spray gun. Make sure the base colour is a gloss and that it's evenly coated all over, you've got no drips or anything on your paint, and then just go to town on it with graphite and just spend a good amount of time polishing it. This build took me about 3 to 4 days to do, roughly, from what I can remember anyway. Just polishing away at it and making sure that everything was to a mirror finish almost. And I'm really happy with the results, if you can't already tell. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope the video has come out okay. And I'll see you on the next one. So until next time, bye.